Welcome viewers. It was 1977 in the capital city of Rajasthan, Jaipur. The sun was setting and the dark was spreading. Now in the nearby market, 37-year-old Savitri Devi wholesale vegetables. Since she left late from the market, she was thinking about what to cook and what are the children doing, and with a lot of thoughts like her husband will scold her. With a basket in her head and a vessel in her hand, she was walking fast to her house. Since the year which I mentioned was 1977, the house of the people were hut and tiled houses. With trees and bushes, Jaipur was like an undeveloped area. And since there were no electricity, street lights, roads and buses, before it gets dark, people will come to their houses, lock their house and go to sleep early. Now Savitri was walking alone in a one-way path in between the bushes, but a shadow behind the tree started watching her. And without knowing this, when Savitri was crossing that tree, and the shadow which was seeing her came out from behind the tree, now by covered with a big blanket with a hammer in hand. Slowly, without any noise, the shadow went behind her. Now, without knowing to Savitri, it started following her. And after following her for a while, suddenly in her neck, below her right ear, with that big hammer it hit her. And in that, Savitri felt like a shock in her head. And at that second, she slipped and fainted. But that shadow didn't leave her, even after she fainted and fell down. In a brutal way, it continuously started hitting her in the head. Because of this, Savitri was suffering and bleeding heavily, and died in the next few minutes. And that shadow which was watching her dying slowly, and after she died, it dragged her dead body and threw it in the bushes and slowly left from there. Who killed Savitri Devi brutally like this? In the years of 1977 and 1978, and the people of Jaipur were very scared of coming out of the house about a bone-chilling case we are going to decode in today's video. Come, let's move on to today's video. Now on the day which I mentioned in the intro around 9:30 p.m., Savitri's husband and the relatives with lantern lamps and fireball wood, they started searching for Savitri in that village and forest, even though they went till the market where Savitri sells vegetables. Since they couldn't find her, her husband gave a police complaint. Now, along with the police, they started searching for Savitri throughout the night. And finally, the next morning, around 5:30 a.m., they recovered Savitri's body from the bushes. And everyone who saw her dead body was very scared. To that extent, her head was brutally smashed, so police started the investigation of who killed Savitri brutally like this. The houses near the forest and the nearby villages like this, even though they investigated a lot of people, they couldn't find any information even after 1 month. They couldn't find any lead in this case. Also, at the same time, another brutal incident happened. Yes, a 48-year-old man was going to the bathroom in the morning. Now the shadow which was hiding behind the tree started watching him, and it went in front of him, who finished his business and was walking. And seeing that shadow, suddenly that man was very shocked. And the next second, the shadow, with the hammer in its hand, it hit him below his right ear. And in that, even after he fainted, that shadow didn't leave him, yes. Like Savitri, he hit his head continuously, and watching him suffering and die. And in the next 2 weeks, 2 youngsters who were returning home from work, police found them brutally dead in the same pattern. Now knowing this, the newspaper, the walking mysterious man, and the murders around the Jaipur, and in the news they named the killer Kampatima killer. Kampatima killer means those who kill by hitting under the ear. Since the killer's pattern was to hit the victim in the neck, under the ear, The newspaper kept this nickname for him. And for that newspaper, continuous murders were happening, which became a shocking news. Yes, like the 4 murders I mentioned before. Those who come late from work, and those who go to the pond to take a bath in the morning, and those who come out of the house at night for bathroom. In the next 7 months, a total of 52 people were murdered continuously, and all of them were attacked in the same pattern. That is, in the neck region under the ear, and police found that they were brutally murdered. But who was that killer who was doing these murders? And without even being able to find the motive of the killer, they started struggling because nothing was stolen from the victims. Also, the murdered females were also not raped. So police started struggling without being able to find the motive of the killer, and particularly all of them who were murdered. They are not related to each other. And this thing made the police more irritated, and at the same time, the Jaipur people said that ghost is there, and rumors were spreading that those ghosts were killing people. Because of this, after the dusk, there is no guarantee for life if they come out. Like this, people were scared and stayed inside. And the Rajasthan state government, who took this matter seriously, to solve this serial murder case, they formed a special investigation team. In these surrounding places of Jaipur, they started going for round. But even after 1 month, they couldn't get any lead, so police were disheartened thinking that they can't find the killer. But that's when a thing which gave them hope started happening. Yes, 28 years old, Bhupendra worked in the nearby village, and around 8 p.m. he went to his house in his cycle. Now that shadow, which was hiding behind a tree in the way where he was going, suddenly ran and pushed Bhupendra, who was going in the cycle, and Bhupendra, who fell down from the cycle. With shock, he looked up to see who pushed him. Now that shadow, which was covered by the blanket, was standing with the hammer, and he was shocked to see that what the people said is true, and it is responsible for everything, and it is going to kill me like the others. Thinking about this, his entire body started shivering. At the same time, Bhupendra, who understood that the shadow is coming to hit him with the hammer, and his brain started secreting adrenaline. This adrenaline, which was said to be fight or flight, is present in all our body. In fact, it is like a superpower to us in an emergency situation, like when your life is in danger, when you are too scared, or even when a dog is chasing you. This adrenaline will secrete. This hormone, which secrete from above the kidney, will double your body power temporarily. And this power, which lasts for a few seconds or a minute, and will be controlled once the situation is neutralized. And what will happen if adrenaline is secreted means at that time you will feel no pain. Actually, you won't know what will happen to your body at that time. And the only focus of your brain will be to save you from that situation. And for that, it will make your heartbeat increase. Because of this, the blood will be sent to your body quickly, and your eye pupil will widen, and in total, it will turn you into superhero mode. And Bhupendra, who started secreting adrenaline, gave his entire strength to his legs and started running from there. And Bhupendra, who escaped, went to the police station the next morning and gave a complaint about the horrific incident which happened the previous night and the reason for the brutal murders around Jaipur. And he saw the face of that shadow. He said an important thing to the police. And he said that the serial killer is a man, and he was very thin, and he looked like a cinema hero, and he must be around 25 to 30 years old. Hearing this, the police are happy that at least they found one lead in this case. Also, with the identification, he said they started drawing the killer's face. Now, by confirming that the face of the killer they drew is right, few more incidents happened. Yes, like Bhupendra, 3 more people who escaped from the killer helped the police to draw his figure, And from that, they confirmed that it was all the same person. Now this news started spreading among Jaipur people slowly, and they thought that police will somehow find the killer. But in the next 2 months, like breaking their hope, more murders started happening than before. Instead of the police catching the killer, 14 more people became the victims of the killer. Because of this, Jaipur people started to be scared again, and this case became a headache to the police. And at the time, when the situation worsened, the incident which made the police relieved happened, and it is said that it is a random day in the month of January 1979. That night around 11 p.m., in an area in Jaipur, 2 constables were going for rounds with lathi and torchlight, and were watching around the place, which is surrounded by trees, and suddenly they saw a different scene. And when they keenly noticed it, behind a tree covered in blanket, they saw a shadow hiding clearly. But the police, who thought that the shadow will escape if they make a sound, and slowly went towards that. But since that shadow was also watching that area, knowing that the police is coming towards it, it started running away from there. But the police, who chased it in a lightning speed, in the next few minutes they caught it. That's when they came to know that it was a youngster with a hammer. And most importantly, when they took him to the station, and when they compared him to the killer's drawing, they found that he was the Kampatima killer who scared the entire Jaipur people, and found that his original name is Shankaria. And after that, he, his parents, relatives, and neighbors like this, when police investigated all of them, police came to know why he became a brutal murderer. And the thing which police came to know, and which shocked the entire Jaipur people, this is what that serial killer Shankaria said. Shankaria, who was born and brought up in Jaipur. From childhood, he had a very bad habit, that is by making the other people sad. He will be happy. So, he beat the neighbors' children and school children, and beating the people at work, like this, he beat a lot of people, and was enjoying seeing them crying. And seeing the people crying, he was very happy. And even when his parents scolded him about this, without worrying about it, he went in his own way. And when it was going like this, when he was 25 years old, how would it feel like to beat and kill someone? And how will it look to see someone die? And what will they do when they are killed? And wishing to see someone getting beaten and dying like this, he had a brutal thought. So one day he brought a very big hammer from his house, and waited for someone to come alone, and watched by waiting in that forest near his house. That's when, like I said in the intro, he made Savitri Devi as his first victim, and seeing her dying with blood splattering, he enjoyed it, and he liked it very much. So similarly, he continuously killed and enjoyed his victim's death. At first, in the neck region under Savitri's ear, he hit her randomly without any aim, but since she fainted immediately, he hit the other victims in the same way and killed them. Like this, from 1977 till 1978. Men and women between the age of 20 to 50 years of age, a total of 70 people are murdered by him. And like a saying, that a long-time thief will get caught one day, and finally, when he was waiting to murder someone, he got caught by the police. Actually, what is the important thing in this means? The thing that he was roaming around at night in bloodthirst was not known by his parents. In this case, the thing which we should notice is, in the crime history of India, being a brutal serial killer in the age of 27 and being executed for that is this Shankaria, who was called as Kampatima killer. And not only that, before he died, he gave a statement. Actually, I did all the murders without thinking. But with my death sentence, I understood how wrong it is. And my last wish is that there should be no serial killers like me, which means looking at the sun after becoming blind. The same situation happened before serial killer Shankaria. but at least he understood even at the last minute. So, my dear viewers, about this Kampatimar serial killer who scared Jaipur people, don't forget to comment your opinions down. I will meet you in another video. Thank you.